My name is Mark Mubarak. I'm a third-year medical student. I'd say, depending on the clerkship, I like to wake up usually at 5, kind of start that morning podcast, take my shower. I use that podcast as like my timer to make sure that I'm not too late. I'll make breakfast, get dressed, kind of check plans for the day. That way I'm kind of hitting the day, feeling good about what's coming. Then I hang out, have some coffee, chill. I don't like to rush, so there's a lot of sitting in the morning of just kind of going through, making it happen. And then I'll go down to grab my bike, hop on the bus, and head on through. In terms of undergrad, I went to UC Irvine in Southern California. Majored in philosophy. I didn't go straight from high school to college. I took some time off in between and wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Kind of a big changing point in my life was I got in a car accident. I remember it was a December before I went back to school. And sitting in the ambulance after that car accident, I was talking with one of the EMTs and I had the worst headache from, hitting my head. And I remember him kind of venting the same way and saying, yeah, I got a headache too. I've been up 20 hours. And that's when I realized they do 24-hour shifts. And I had that kind of light bulb moment of, I could do this to pay for college. I would work on the weekends, study philosophy during the week, and wouldn't have to worry about, bills or anything like that since I had my full-time 48 hours that I do back-to-back, Saturday, Sunday. I loved my weekends even though I was working. So that's when I kind of realized I should probably stick with healthcare. So my brother and I were applying to medical school together. He's 3 years older than me. And what we ended up doing was taking all of our interviews and bunching them up. But the plan was to fly out for our first interview. And the way we had scheduled it was basically, Monday, Wednesday, Friday interviews, weekend off, Monday, Wednesday, Friday interviews. Once we hit Iowa and interviewed here and moved on to the next place, I noticed I kept comparing every experience to Iowa. And that was a huge kind of thought of, I found what I'm looking for, because I'm not comparing it to the ideal anymore, I'm comparing it to this place. Clinics usually start anywhere from, I'd say 6:30 to 8, depending on what you're on. So we'll go in, usually get info from the night group, check up on our patients, kind of touch base with the residents. Then the attending shows up, I'd say at around 9 or 10 o'clock, and we do morning rounds. After that, the attending will kind of give us feedback, a teaching session on, what we should consider, things that we should do differently. And then we talk with the patient, and that'll be, a good 10-ish, 15 minutes, answer their questions, make sure they're on board with everything. Then it's lunch. Usually there's a lecture for most clerkships, so we show up. Hopefully there'll be free food. Not always, but it's always nice when there is. And then we go back, do some notes, kind of discussion, maybe teaching with the residents. That'll be from anywhere from 2 to, I'd say 3 or 4. And then we either have, for most clerkships, I'd say a lecture from 4 to 5, or just kind of closing duties, things that come up. If we're admitting patients for the day, we'll do admissions throughout. So make sure that we close everything up and tie off any loose ends. And yeah, we're out by 5 o'clock. When I get back from the clinics, there's usually still some studying and emails that need to be done. So I'll usually take a reset time of 20 minutes and I just come home, put my things down, and just chill. Then I get right back to it. I like to kind of prepare my meals at the beginning of the week. It's just a little easier with not being sure how every day is going to go. We're not really always aware of what's upcoming for the week. So I'll warm up dinner, eat that around 7:30, study till 8:39 after dinner, Skype with my wife. My wife is also a medical student at UC Davis in California. It's a unique challenge, trying to find quality time to spend together. Skype is definitely a lifesaver. After about a half hour, come out here, watch one episode of something. I'm going through The Office again right now, which is nice. And then head to bed. That's kind of my day through and through. During the weekends, spend time with friends, usually one evening a week. And then the big one is every Sunday, just kind of looking towards the week, is heading to Costco. I'll either do it Friday right after my test if I have one, and if not, it's on Sundays, and that's like my area of zen. I just feel this overwhelming sense of peace. I don't know where it comes from. It's just a cool place. I don't know what it is about Costco. My first experience with healthcare was on the ambulance as an EMT in LA. So emergency medicine has like a special place in my heart. It's kind of like that first love, if you will. I would be very happy working in emergency medicine. Scholarship support has definitely been something super, helpful and stress relieving in my life. It kind of gives me the freedom that as I go through the clinics and as I kind of determine what my career goals are, I have less of a burden of being concerned about what I got to pay for. It lets us be a little more liberated from the pressures of finance and go towards our passions instead. It also lets me visit my wife in California, which is huge. Plane tickets aren't cheap, so without that burden, it's great that I can make those decisions and focus on us and our relationship. It's not just an education thing. It's definitely impacted, my life, my wife's life, and our future kids too. I mean, our relationship will be facilitated through that financial burden being lifted.